Hey guys, much like my Pokemon stuff, I decided I'm going to do some deck analysis of the various clans and the various decks that I play, as well as doing videos that kind of go with these guys. So the first decks I'm going to go through are the Nation of the Stargate. I'm kind of going to talk a bit about the different sort of themes, the different clans. At the moment we've only got two clans in the Stargate, which is Dimension Police and Nova Grapplers, but there is going to be the new one, the Link Joker I think it's called. I might be wrong, I can't remember, I'm doing this from memory, but that's a new clan that's coming out a little while in Japan. We probably won't get over here for a while. But yes, like I said, this first deck that I'm going to be talking about is Nova Grapplers, and I'm focusing on Stern Blaukruger. This deck is fully tournament legal if you're playing in the UK. So you could, if you really want to, just copy this deck and play it. I really enjoy the deck. I love the artwork. That's one of the main reasons I play Stern Blaukruger. Well, it is good, but I do really like the artwork. I have a big affinity with robots. I grew up loving Transformers, Mask, all that sort of amazing 80s, early 90s cartoons. So yeah, that's why I really enjoy these guys, and just the general sort of like flavour of the Nova Grapplers I quite like. So okay, I'll get into talking about the deck. So the deck is Stern Blaukruger. He is our main Vanguard, and he is part of a ride chain. So the ride chain to this series is quite similar to other ones. So we start off with blaujunger. He's our opening guy. And when you ride blaupanzer upon him, you can then search out for a copy of the Grade 2, which is Blaukruger, and add it to your hand. So getting the Grade 1 in your hand from the starting hand isn't essential to the late game, but it does guarantee you a Grade 2 ride. So if your initial sort of 5 cards you draw, if you do have the Blaukruger in your hand, you're not too bothered about having to get the blaupanzer, because you know you'll have Blaukruger on your Grade 2 ride. So when you go into the Stern Blaukruger, he will be at his full 11k, because much like all these ride chains, when you complete the ride chain, you get that nice little added bit of bonus of getting a power boost if you have the grade down in the soul. So when the 1 goes on the 0, you get a 2k boost, and then when the 2 goes on the 1 and the 3 goes on the 1, you get a 1k boost. So it kind of helps to get you defense, because that's a static ability. That means you've constantly got that extra 1k, which a lot of people do forget to kind of like have in their mind when they're attacking you. They'll be just going in with a 10k vanilla with no rear guard boost and thinking, yeah, 10k, and then like, yeah, sorry man, my Vanguard's 11. You know, it's kind of cool that people, not very good players, you know, they miss out on that. So another good feature of blaupanzer as well is when you pull it to rear guard, drop down to rear guard, if you've got a grade 3 in your hand, you can drop that and then search your deck for a copy of Stern Blaukruger and put it in your hand. Now that's great, you know, to get out Stern Blaukruger. There's also other good ways, like a kind of like advanced techniques, if you will, that you can use that effect. If you already have got a copy of Stern Blaukruger in your hand, and we run 4 in the deck because it's our essential Vanguard, what you could do is still drop him down, discard a copy of Stern Blaukruger, and draw a copy of Stern Blaukruger. Now you may be thinking, why are you doing that? Well, that's deck thinning. Every card we take apart out of our deck gives us a mathematical improvement chance of us drawing into a trigger. And we don't want to be drawing grade 3s on our drive check. When we get into the grade 3s, we talk about the other grade 3s where that's kind of what we would want, but that's a major backup if the strategy of the deck has gone hideously wrong. And that's why we've gone max consistency in this deck. We've gone, you know, obviously the starting Vanguard, we've gone 4-4-4 with the grade 1, grade 2 and grade 3, just to guarantee that we get these guys out. And I mean, a 6k boost for a grade 1 isn't too bad, but it does definitely guarantee we will get the Stern Blaukruger. So that's a very good feature of him. And then we got into actually Blaukruger himself. He gets the 1k boost if we've got blaupanzer in his soul, which is standard. And he has got a nice little ability when he's in the Vanguard circle, when his attack hits, you can flip one of your damage over. Now that's great if you're running cards like Brutal Jack or Magician Girl Carrara. If you want to get some more draw, you can obviously unflip the damage. But in this build, I'm only using the counterblasts for Stern Blaukruger's effect, which I'll now get into. So Stern Blaukruger, he's 11k if you've got the Blaukruger in your soul, and he has an amazing ability that if his attack is successful, you can counterblast 2, discard 2 Nova Grapplers from your hand, stand him back up, and stand the rear behind, basically the rear guard behind him, which is amazing, and attack again. He does lose twin drive, but because he's a Vanguard, he still will maintain a single drive. So obviously when you drive check and you get yourself a draw trigger, happy fucking days, because that's another card you can dump, and also, you know, it's only a 5k shield, that's okay. Or if you do get a grade 3 on the drive check, or you've got a grade 3 in your hand, they're cards you can dump, stand him back up, and then attack with him again. And one thing which a lot of people don't realise is Stern Blaukruger maintains all power or all criticals that you may have got from triggers. So you could crit, give it to him, attack them for 2 damage, stand him back up, and he will maintain the critical. And a lot of people don't realise that that actually happens, which can catch a lot of people off, but obviously more experienced players will know that. But still, attacking for a critical again, and a power buff, and then potential of drawing another critical is pretty damn scary, so that's why I really like it. One thing I should point out as well is that Stern Blaukruger's attack has to be at a Vanguard. It's not like Draconic Overlord where it can target a rear guard, then you activate his ability, it has to successfully hit a Vanguard. So, I mean, obviously, it's kind of fair because in this instance we get to stand the rear guard in the same row as this unit, and obviously Draconic Overlord only stands himself, so it kind of balances itself out in that regard. So let's get into actually the core mechanics of the deck and actual hard numbers. These are the trigger units we use. As you can see, there's no stand triggers. We're going straight 8 criticals because obviously we want to get those criticals on Stern if we can stand him back up again, or we'll give them to the rear guard. But I'll get more into strategy later on. But other triggers, I like to mix up artwork, so I've got 4 draw triggers, but 2 of them are 3 minutes and 2 of them are the gong. And same with our heal triggers, 4 heal triggers, standard, but 2 War Boy and 2 Ring Girl Clara, because who wouldn't want Robo Boobs in their deck? I mean, come on. So pretty straightforward on the trigger side, just that obviously having no stands. Now with the grade 1s, we're going for 4 perfect guards. I always believe in having 4 perfect guards. Just a personal preference of mine, I think you do need, especially with all these break rides coming around now. And then we've got the 4 blaupanzers, which are kind of essential to help us get our grade 2, if not a guarantee we'll get Stern out. 4 Tough Boys, because he's just a nice 8k vanilla, and then 2 Dancing Wolf. Now Dancing Wolf, the only reason we have 2 copies of him is because his job is to sit behind the Vanguard in the rear guard position, because if Stern Blaukruger's ability kicks off, where he gets a stand and stands back and Dancing Wolf back up, Dancing Wolf's ability kicks in and he gets an extra 3k, which means that although we'll be losing out on Twin Drive when Stern attacks again, there is going to be an extra 3,000 to the attack, minus whatever triggers we may have pulled. So that's his job. He has to sit behind the Vanguard. Tough Boy obviously is the extra 1k, so it helps with the initial attack, but this helps with the second attack after we lose Twin Drive. Now the grade 2s are pretty straightforward really. We've got 4 Blaukrugers. Again, that extra consistency to guarantee that we will have the 1k for Stern Blaukruger. And we've also got 4 Eisenkugels. Now Eisenkugel is the typical supporting grade 2 for ride chains. All ride chains have a guy who does this, have the same abilities, where he loses 5k unless you have the grade 2 or the grade 3 of your ride chain in the Vanguard circle, but he gains 2k when he attacks. So if you have got the correct Vanguard, he will be a 12k attacker. Stick a Tough Boy behind him, that's a 20k from your rear guard, so that's fucking sick for your opponent to have to deal with. We've also got 2 King of Sword because he's just a 10k vanilla grade 2. And then the other guy, which is a bit more interesting, is Street Bouncer. We've got 2 copies of Street Bouncer. Street Bouncer's ability allows us to draw a card, and that's essential because with Stern Blaukruger, when we counterblast 2, we have to discard 2 cards, so we need that card draw. We may have the 4 triggers, but this is obviously a guaranteed card draw. How he works is you have to, when you call him to rear guard, you rest him and the unit behind him, and you need to draw a card. So what I sometimes do is if I've got, say, an Eisenkugel up front and no rear guard behind him, I can pull Eisenkugel down to the back row of the rear guard, call Street Bouncer, rest them both, draw a card. Now I may be losing attack from that column, but I have also gained a 5k shield because grade 2s are 5k in your hand or they're 5k on the field. So it's a lot better. So I've got card advantage for drawing the card, and I've also got a 5k shield on the field. He can do his job. We blocked. A lot of the time your opponent targets it straight away, which I always find really weird because I'm just going to use it for block anyway. And yeah, we've got extra card draw. Always sucks when you draw a trigger, but that is always the risk of drawing cards. Right then, so we're going to go into the grade 3s. 4 Stern Blaukruger, we've talked enough about Stern. And these are my other supporting ones. I'm only using 7 grade 3s. And I've gone for 1 Azure Kaiser. I was using 2, I was using 8, but I've dropped it down to 6. it's just a good 11k grade 3, but his ability is if you draw a grade 3 from your drive check, it's down on your rear guards, which is okay, but it's not really the flavour of this deck. And then Moa the Great, the reason I got Moa the Great is he's quite similar to Eisenkugel, but a different way. When he's boosted by Nova Grappler, he gets plus 2k, and that's either in the Vanguard or the rearguard position. So he's a decent grade 3 to have in rearguard. Azure Kaiser, yeah, he's 11k, but he has no additional power. With this guy, again, stick a tough boy behind him. We've got another 20k coming from the rearguard. So that's obviously quite hard for your opponent to deal with. That's going to require 15k block, even if they're 11k Vanguard. So this kind of is the dream formation, really. What we want to have sorted out when we go on to grade 3. We want a Dancer Wolf sitting behind the Vanguard, sitting behind Stern Blaukruger. And in the other two rear positions, we really want 2 tough boys. Now, we have got 4, so we should hopefully get into them. But if not, obviously we can have a blaupanzer there for the 6k boost. Because the 2 Moa the Great and Eisenkugel are each going to get an additional 2,000 on their attack phase anyway because of their skills. So how we would then do an attack. First thing we'd do is we attack with Stern Blaukruger. Bear in mind we would probably have 2 damage at this point, at least 2 damage. We attack with Stern Blaukruger first, and we're going to attack for 18,000, which can be blockable, but then your opponent is having to force to block that, because if not, we will obviously going to do our ability, counterblast 2, discard 2, stand him back up. So if they don't, let's say scenario A, they don't guard. So we hit and we draw no triggers. Or we say we draw a critical, we stick it on Stern, and we also put the power on Stern, because what then happens is they take the damage, and then we counterblast 2, discard 2, stand him back up, he maintains the power from the critical. So we got a critical, he maintains that power, and also Dancer Wolf gets his plus 3,000. So now the next attack is going to be 18, plus 3, 21, plus 5, 26 and a critical. So it's a lot harder for them to deal with. No doubt that's obviously the perfect guard. Scenario 2, we attack, they do guard, and we trigger. We get, say, a critical trigger. Well, bam, we'll stick that on either Eisenkugel or Moa the Great. Now that row is attacking for 25 and a critical. So it's high numbers. Now 11k is the usual sort of Vanguard number. So 25 and a critical, that is going to require 15k shield. So if you've got, then you got 20k from the other side. If they're 11k, it's going to require, you know, a 10k shield. So you really are going to be burning cards out of their hand fast, and it's going to get to a point where they're not going to have a block. So having a Moai is fine, but 2 Eisenkugels would be more preferable because you have got the 5k intercept option. But it does happen. We have got the consistency in the deck of having 4 Eisenkugel, but you know, throughout the game you probably would have blocked with them, and they often get targeted. Eisenkugels get targeted a lot more than Moai because obviously the intercept factor. So that's pretty much covered the deck. So here's the full list: 1 blaujunger, 4 Prometheus, 4 red lightning, 2 so you can see it. I'm not going to read it all, you can see it. So essentially 17 grade 0s, 14 grade 1s, 12 grade 2s, and 7 grade 3s. So yeah, like I say, this deck is fully standard tournament legal. So yeah, if you like playing Nova Grapplers, I recommend getting it. There's not that many triple rares. Sterns and Blaukrugers are the hardest to get hold of, but yeah, definitely try the deck out, see how you feel with it. So once again guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video informative. If you want to get into Vanguard and don't know what deck to play, I will try and go through every single clan, and not every single viable deck amongst the clans, but I will try and go through all the clans. So once again, thanks very much, like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully I will get some matches of me using this deck, and I'll catch you later. Adios.